On your marks.
And so we are underway here in the men's open 1500. It'll be interesting to see who can make their way up the back straight, some of the fastest, as we see the boys now go through the motions. And certainly a fair bit of speed to get out there first. 13 seconds through the first 100 metres as they make their way around this opening bend. And certainly pace is not lacking through this opening 200. 26-27 on the clock. As they're beautifully strung out here, there'll be no sort of jostling going on here. It's all about time. Jack Lunn, the man I'm very interested in there, sitting in 4th position. But out in front here is Sammy Bunnage, our pacemaker. Nobody able to jump immediately on the back of him. Right behind is Connor Whiteley, Will Lewis and Lunn not too far away. It'll be interesting to see where these boys end up through the first 400 metres. And Lockie Hurd tucks himself towards the back there.
Yeah, interesting positioning there. Well, Hurd sitting there in mid-stage. So Bunnage goes through now, and then we have the bulk of the field then just under the minute mark. So they're sitting on around the 3:45 pace, as we're seeing Will Lewis just getting a little bit antsy there and goes ahead of Whiteley. Lunn just follows his teammate there along, as we see Bunnage out by about 10 metres, which is a bit too much for the pacemaker. So he's now out of touch of the field. So Lewis is the one now doing the work out front of the field. Lunn, Whiteley still on the rails, as we see a few moves just starting to happen as they start to come in to the home straight for the second time. So Bunnage out by 10, so as I said, just a bit too much for a pacemaker. They haven't got physical contact or any benefit from that at all, as we're seeing the next of our runners just starting through, and Lockie Hurd looking really, really comfortable at the moment.
Well, they're starting to wind in the pacemaker here at the moment. He's probably been given an allocated time, and the boys have just tucked off the back of it. Will Lewis now going to do his best to try and bring him up. Jack Lunn right on his shoulder there, and as you mentioned, Lockie Hurd looking really comfortable back in the middle of that pack. But as we make our way through the first 800 metres, it's about 1:59, 2 minutes on the clock. So that equates to about a 3:45 pace, as they might try and get the wheels in motion here. They've left Will Lewis at the front now to do the work. The pack starts to split in the middle of it. It comes down to a field of 5, unless they can just latch right onto the back of that. And in that second pack is also Tom Bowers, as this pack of 5 now just maybe starts to creep away a little bit, but I think there might be somebody who might be able to jump onto the back of it.
Yeah, I think that front 5 are looking quite solid at the moment. So Lewis is just carving the pace out front. Lunn sitting nicely. Clifford also up there. Whiteley on the rails. He's hardly moved from that position, and it's a good position to be in. But of the positioning, I think Lockie Hurd's got the best sit there. He's sitting back in 5th. But as we get into this final stage of the race, Lockie Hurd's looking ready to pounce.
So Lockie Hurd just going to sit on the back here. Will Lewis is going to lead them through at the bell. Jack Lunn has that 800 metre pace as well. It is still going to be Connor Whiteley, not too far away on the rail there, and on the outside is Samuel Clifford. So Hurd at the back is the danger as they make their way to 300 metres go. Jack Lunn just on the shoulder there of Will Lewis. He just starts to extend away. He's got some of the longest legs in Victoria, and he's going to put them to use now on the back straight. So it is Lunn. Lewis on the inside isn't done with yet. 200 metres to go. Takes a look on the right-hand shoulder and says, if you want some, and come and get it. 180 metres to go now. Will Lewis did it very similar fashion in the men's 1500 metre state title in February. Lunn not done yet. He starts to call on the levers. 100 metres to go. Lewis looks on the outside. He sticks his head back. Lunn sticks it forward, and he starts to drive away down the home straight. The 800 metre specialist turns into a 1500 metre champion, and there's a 3:44 to go with it. Will Lewis. So too comes through Samuel Clifford. On the outside of him was Whiteley, and Hurd just dropped back there a little bit. To come on the outside of him was Joseph Ryan. But wowee, Jack Lunn announces himself in the 1500 metres. 3:44 to come over the top of the Victorian 1500 metre champion Will Lewis. And what a race that was down the home straight.
Well, I thought he was done and dusted there, Lunn, when Will Lewis made that extra surge and little move, but gee, not to be outdone there whatsoever, and what a great race